left over from the event. Sweet. 819 is actually quite decent. Alright guys, DX1 here, back again, outside this time. What a surprise, we're actually outside recording, not on live stream. So, I came out here to Red Bank Park to kind of discuss a pretty hot topic that's been going on in the community so far right now. So, we're here to discuss the current status of Pokemon Go and just where we are currently in the timeline of the game, and as we know, the certain updates that have been expected to roll out which have not. And we're going to talk about where we currently are in Pokemon Go, because there's been a lot of, I'd say, complaints. There's been a lot of talk and complaints about the game slowing down, and the game most certainly is slowing down to a certain degree. And there was a Pikachu on the nearby. It left. Hopefully it's still there. Probably not. But, yep, it's gone. Crap. But, in today's video, we're going to be talking about where we currently are with Pokemon Go. And we're going to be talking about the current status of the game and what can be done to fix this slowdown that is going on in Pokemon Go. What can Niantic do to improve the game while working on future updates? Because I'm pretty sure that Niantic has something up its sleeve, however, is just not ready to unveil it right now, and that's why we're seeing these events and stuff like that to hold us over. And what's interesting to me is that, you know, we are literally fresh off of the Equinox event where it had everybody outside hatching eggs, grinding out double Stardust, catching Pokemon. And it's almost like, actually not almost, it's literally right after the event ended, the game just hit a wall, you know? Everybody's just like, alright, well, we're bored with the game, there's nothing to do. That's basically the most of what I've heard currently. You know, the game is currently dead, there's nothing to do, and it's pretty interesting. It's got me thinking, like, I don't know, because I haven't felt that way personally, because gonna run. Okay, I haven't felt that way personally, but you know, let's take a little walk around the park and let's talk about what can be done to improve Pokemon Go, what can be done to improve the game overall, what can be done to bring players back into the game that may seem like the game's getting a little bit boring. And I have a lot of ideas and concepts in the back of my mind on how Pokemon Go can be improved. First, I believe that PvP is something that is essential. Also, I want to talk about how abilities need to be introduced before Generation 3 drops. I believe that Gen 3 is coming, but then again, there's a lot of things that need to be incorporated in Pokemon Go before Gen 3 is even introduced, which I'm not entirely confident that Niantic is willing to work on these features right now. There a lot of things that this game needs that I just don't think Niantic is working on. We're going to go ahead and take a little stroll around Red Bank Park, and we're going to talk about, one, what Niantic needs to do to improve Pokemon Go beyond just events and legendaries, because obviously the events and legendaries are becoming stale, and it's just not enough to hold the player base's interest for the majority of the player base. I'm not talking about myself. Me personally, I still haven't done a lot of Entei rating yet. I think I have 6 Entei. And my best one is about a 96%. I want a 98 and I want a 100. And I want a bunch of Entei just like I have a bunch of every other legendary. So, again, that's the thing. But then again, you know, am I going to get bored of the game once I finish with Entei? And am I going to be bored for like a couple of weeks until Suicune drops? So, you know, I cannot say that I am getting sick of the game. It's not a matter of whether you specifically are enjoying the game or not. This is basically a general conversation about the status of Pokemon Go and where we can go from here. So stay tuned, and we're going to go walk around. We're taking a walk around this area right here and then circle around, and we're going to talk about the future of Pokemon Go. We're going to talk about the improvements. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, so the number one improvement that I really think Niantic should introduce into Pokemon Go is not Generation 3, but PvP battling. We need a way to compete with one another, because that is what I believe will make the game more exciting, and that draws a lot of interest to a lot of gamers. So if you're able to gain support from the gaming community by having a competitive edge to Pokemon Go, that's only going to create longevity and improvements for Pokemon Go moving forward. And number two, I want to talk about, and I believe Trainer Tips has talked about this in length, but I do believe that abilities are very important to introducing Generation 3 Pokemon. But the thing is, how do they do it? Has anybody ever thought, like, everybody thinks that, abilities need to be added to the game, but how in the world are abilities going to be added to the game when number one, you don't even have immunities in Pokemon Go? In fact, there is a fresh Weezing raid down at the very end of the waterfront. We'll probably take that on later on. But back to what I was saying, you don't even have immunities in Pokemon Go. Electric type moves can hit ground types, ghost type moves can hit normal type, and so on and so forth. So, I don't think that Niantic is on the right page as far as the technical parts of the Pokemon game. I think they just want to focus on just tap and attack, which, again, if you were to involve, which is what I want currently in Pokemon Go, if you were to involve a turn-based system, just like the main series game is, then, abilities would definitely have to be incorporated. But abilities need to be incorporated regardless into Pokemon Go. You can't have electric-type moves hitting ground-type moves, and you can't have normal-type moves hitting ghost-type moves. And then once that is introduced, once you have immunities and stuff like that, then you can start to incorporate abilities. So let's talk about Shedinja. His ability is Wonder Guard. This is one of the best abilities I can talk about right now, because that definitely has to do with immunities. Wonder Guard is an ability in which Shedinja is not able to get hit by any move that is not super effective. So, if a move is not super effective, Shedinja, it will not take any damage. However, Shedinja has 1 hit point. That ability can't even be incorporated because, first of all, there is no immunity in the code to Pokemon Go. So how in the world is Wonder Guard supposed to be in effect? Also, Slaking has an ability in which it does not attack for, I think, every other turn, or once every 3 to 2 turns. If you're tapping and attacking in Pokemon Go, how is that going to work? How is that ability going to be incorporated in the game if the Pokemon does not pause to attack? So we're going to go ahead into a battle style simulation, and I'm going to go ahead and explain exactly what I'm talking about. I'm talking about immunities and how abilities need to be incorporated in Pokemon Go the correct way, because I also know that this is part of Niantic's marketing strategy, is just not keeping us as informed as we possibly could be. This is part of Niantic's business strategy, is to keep us kind of in the dark for the most part, and then drop things as they're ready. So we're always kind of at Niantic's mercy, so to speak, when it comes to news and information about Pokemon Go. And it's part of their... Oh, there's a Magmar nearby. That's interesting. Oh, it's right up there. But, again, I am probably the most patient individual with Niantic. That I'm definitely going to be the most patient YouTuber with Niantic. I'm a person that just has no complaints. But to others that do... are very frustrated with the game and are becoming impatient with the game or becoming bored with the game, please take a note that, Pokemon Go has always been 6 months behind in development, which is probably why they've been so slow to push out updates and to push out new features and brand new systems and formats in Pokemon Go. So now they're probably thinking, oh man, here we go again. We have to now incorporate a brand new system after we thought we just had fixed the gym battling issue with the June gym update, which really wasn't that big of an update. But again, I believe it's Niantic's way of saying, hey, we just fixed the gym issue, but you really didn't, Niantic, and you didn't. But I digress. Again, this is the way Niantic thinks about the game, and you know, they do need to step up their game. I'm not going to make excuses for Niantic either. This game needs to become better. Niantic does need to step up, but you know, be patient with Niantic. And you know, if you really find it that difficult to be patient, a little bit more patient with Niantic, because I'm calling you right now. We are going to have a very, very big update before the end of the year, and then we're gonna have Gen 3. So, you know, if you guys can be patient enough, catch your legendaries, catch your Pokemon, grind out your Stardust. If you guys can stay patient with the very mundane portions of the game at the moment, I definitely think that you are going to be rewarded handsomely towards the end of the year and the beginning of 2018 when Pokemon Go really ramps up its updates. So we got 1 second left on this gym raid, and I'm gonna try to go ahead and explain what I'm talking about, because we always are indicated what kind of damage that we're dealing. So we're going to go and sit with Espeon right here. And Espeon is going to be dealing with super effective damage. As you can see right here, it's giving us an indication we're dealing super effective damage. Now, if immunities were incorporated into Pokemon Go, say I was using an electric type and I was facing a Rhydon. In the main series game, I would not be able to inflict damage whatsoever. So it would say, does not affect Pokemon, or not effective at all, and I would not be dealing damage. I should not be dealing damage if the move that I'm using is not effective at all to that type. See, right now I'm not dealing very effective damage right now. I'm not dealing super effective damage, but as you can see in that black box, can I deal... Actually, no, we're going to switch to Alakazam so I can see right here. It tells you what move is being used. Slaking, its ability. It doesn't allow it to move every single turn. So, if it's a turn-by-turn based system, or if it's just a tap-and-attack based system, you know, it would say in the box right here, where it's just said my Tyranitar used Crunch, it would say slacking off. And the Weezing right now would not be taking any damage in this gym raid. Are we going to beat this raid? Yeah, we're going to beat it. So, the Weezing would not be taking any damage in this battle because of its slacking off. It's not using any moves. And these are the things that need to be incorporated, because every single Generation 3 Pokemon has an ability. This is when abilities were introduced. So, if you're going to introduce brand new Pokemon, their abilities need to be respected. So, Niantic, consider this as a suggestion towards your brand new gym battle system. If you guys are considering, actually, we may not beat this. I'm not dealing enough damage. Niantic, if you guys should consider a brand new revamped gym battle system with abilities incorporated in the game using your current format, because your current format is good enough to give players an indication of what's going on in the battle. Are we going to beat this? Got him down, got the Weezing down. What I also think can be incorporated, now this isn't going to keep the longevity of the player base, but we definitely do need new raid bosses. Again, we're getting sick and tired of the same raid bosses all the time, and this fly is on me, of the same raid bosses every single time. So again, I do believe that we need new raid bosses. Perhaps Dragonite could be a raid boss. You know, what we saw at the Yokohama event in Japan, we had Ursaring, we saw Wobbuffet. Oh, that was a bad throw. What's the IV on this thing? I don't know. We saw Wobbuffet as well being incorporated as a raid boss. We definitely need new raid bosses. We need PvP, and we also need Generation 3, but in what order? Now, in my opinion, we get it? Alright, we got the Weezing down. Hopefully it's good IVs. But so in my opinion, we do need a brand new battle system with abilities and status effects introduced into the game. Also, we need player versus player. We need a competitive edge to Pokemon Go as well. And also, what we really need after that is Generation 3. But Generation 3 needs to come after the battle, after the battle system is improved. The Wonder with defense, certainly pressed by its stats. It's not that bad. But, ooh, a Seadra. Nice. So just to wrap up this video, what I'm willing to wait for Niantic, I'm definitely willing to wait a few months for these features to be incorporated. I want these features to be perfect. So first, what we need is a brand new battle system, either turn by turn or just, you know, tap and battle with indications that let us know that what's going on in the battle in terms of immunity and abilities. Also, what we need is PvP. We definitely need a competitive edge, especially going towards the winter months when Pokemon Go becomes more difficult to play, especially out here in the Northeast. I played Pokemon Go out in the wintertime last year. It sucked, okay? So that also needs to be incorporated into the game, as well as Generation 3. So these things need to be added before Gen 3, just to make Gen 3 that much better, and to really carry Pokemon Go into next summer, where we can have a much more sustained longevity of Pokemon Go. So that's going to do it for this video. Just a little update, a little adventure video on my thoughts on how the Pokemon Go is kind of dying off, and how people are becoming bored with the game, and the improvements, what can be done to make the game better. So again, that's going to do it for this episode. And leave the comment. Okay guys, so I'm going to attempt to solo this Weezing, and I'm going to bring in some super effective Pokemon like Espeon and things like that. And I'm going to try to explain what I'm talking about when I'm talking about the changes in the gym battle system, when I say abilities and actual status effects need to be incorporated into Pokemon Go. So we got 90 seconds, so we're going to bring in... Where's my Espeon? There she is. Alright. What else do I have? It's good. Let's bring in Dragonite. Tyranitar can hop in there. We're gonna go heavy ground type.